Good morning, YouTube. I'm going to try something a little bit different today, as I don't know what this. We're going to do how can I make a good deck out of 3? Now, from what I remember, dinosaurs are actually quite a good deck and one of the first good decks. So, it shouldn't be too hard to make something good out of this. What we will do is we'll make what can we make from just a basic, and then I'll put in a few more cards I can find from my binders and stuff, and I'll say this is more of a competitive one. Sadly, I won't be able to do like the top tier dinosaurs, just because I don't have my hands on Bedazzled Crocodile. One day I'll get some more Echo and we'll get myself a Bedazzled Crocodile. But see me in the video, I'll go in there. Oh, before we do, please like, comment, subscribe on the video if you want to see more content like this, and if possible, maybe recommend where I can get a nice good Yu-Gi-Oh style hat in a snapback style. See you in the video. So, I'm going to do a little deck profile-esque thing with where you can build out of 3 structure decks for the dinosaurs. Now, if you guys really enjoy this, maybe we can make ourselves a little from scratch series. Because I quite like dinosaurs. Not as much as like Elemental Heroes, but I mean, you know, Elemental Heroes, guys, come on. Nothing can ever beat your heroes. So, as I said, this is just from the deck. After this, I will do what you can just improve on with some cheap little extras. But for now, it's just this. So, you got your Miracle Jurassic Egg. I'm thinking more of a defensive option, as you do have quite a few beat sticks in this deck anyway. While face up on the field, this card cannot be banished. Each time a dinosaur monster is sent to the graveyard, place 2 counters on this card. You can treat this card, special summon 1 dinosaur monster from the deck with levels less than or equal to the number of cards drawn. Now you're probably thinking like, why do I have this card there? As I said, it's just a bit of a defensive wall. Maybe you can't get anything out good on like turn 1 or 2. You just need to put yourself something down just so you don't get run over. But obviously if your dinosaurs are going into the graveyard, you can't be banished. You could be looking at some good cards afterwards. I'm going to play 1 Tyranno Infinite. The usual attack of this card is the number of banished monsters. Is the number of banished dinosaur type monsters times 1000. So, if you are going to have cards get banished, this is going to be a real powerhouse later in the game. Definitely want to have 3 of these bad boys. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can take 1 dinosaur type monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to your graveyard. You can target one of a level 4 or lower dinosaur monster type on the field, destroy it. Then special summon 1 dinosaur monster from your graveyard in defense position. This can only be affected by the soul eating Ororaptor once per turn. So yep, so 3 of these are always good. Now there's 3 of these in here for this, but I wouldn't probably use 3, I might use 1 or 2. As I think it would get just a bit clunky with the 3, but obviously as this is just a deck profile from 3 decks, you obviously still want to have yourself some board smacking ability. So, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Cannot be normal summoned / set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 dinosaur monsters from your graveyard. Once per turn, during either player's main phase, you can destroy 1 monster in your opponent's hand or field. And if you do, change all face-up monsters on your opponent's control to face-down defense position. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. At the very start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defensive position monster, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. And if you do, send that defensive position monster to the graveyard. So essentially, if your opponent's got like a 5 board, you throw this down, they'll get flipped down in defense position. I think it doesn't affect link monsters, which is probably about the only thing you can sort of go uh-oh. But yeah, if your opponent's playing a lot of synchros, playing a lot of XYZs, it can do. Yeah, I think it's literally just link monsters it'll have the issue with. Now more for our engine. We'll have 3 of these bad boys. Some people say you want 2, some people say 3, and then obviously you flip it around with the next card, but we'll see. So, Pteranodon. If this card is destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon 1/4 or higher dinosaur monster from your deck, but you cannot attack this turn. And then what people would like to say is like you want to play 3 of these or 2 of these, obviously depending on how you play the other card. Baby Ceratosaurus. If this card is destroyed by if this card is destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon 1/4 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck. Now you may notice that a lot of the monsters in this deck are actually level 4 or lower. which makes sense why you want to have Babysaurus. Obviously, like I said, this is just from 3 decks. It's not a great deck. Not get me wrong, you probably can go to the locals, you probably win a game or two. Unless if your locals is one of those hardcore locals where everyone's playing just full on meta, then maybe you might just have a bad day, but nonetheless. 3 Miscellaneousaurus. A card that makes the ban list wonder why. So, during either player's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. During the main phase, dinosaur type monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activation effect. You can banish any number of dinosaur monsters from your graveyard, including this card. Special summon 1 dinosaur monster from your deck with a level equal to the number of monsters banished to the effect of this effect, but destroy it during the end phase. You can only use the effect of Miscellaneousaurus once per turn. So obviously it's not the best card, but if you're just thinking, hey, I just want to get something out quickly, maybe because you're going to link it off, maybe because you're going to XYZ it, because there's a few good XYZs that you're going to use in this deck. Obviously, I'm not going to use it in this deck because we don't have access to them. But when I do the up-vamped version, hopefully we can find some cards I can put in here that actually would be better. And then last of the monsters, 2 Triceratops. Now the only reason this is in here is because it has an effect that basically just says, once your opponent has special or summoned up to 3 monsters, or summoned 3 times. Obviously we're now in a game where 5+ times is still quite a common occurrence. You can summon this guy. So I don't know if this negates the effect of a Nibiru, in the sense of like if you summon this you can't then summon a Nibiru 2 after. But it does give you a little bit of a body on the field. It does lose 500 defense though when it hits the field if it is summoned this way. But at the end of the day, you got a level 6, big chunky boy. A lot of people aren't probably going to take it down on the first turn. If it is the first turn you're going second, this is even better, as you've already got a body on the field to start playing around with. Of course, we have 1 terraforming. Search for a field card. 3 unexpected die. If you if you control no monster, special summon 1 of a 4 lower normal monster from your deck to the normal monster from your deck. So I'd say it's been really good in a deck if I actually did put in some normal monsters, but I didn't. The reason why this is in here though is just to say, hey, go for it. So I'm going to show you one of these decks now, and you can see what it is. This deck is just filled with, oh, let's do it properly. There were 4 normal monsters. You got like 3 or 4 monsters in there that you can choose from. They're not bad monsters. I just thought you guys would like the effect monsters a bit more. Obviously it doesn't really affect this deck, but I would choose that and possibly put in a few more of the normal monsters just to make it a bit different. Fossil Dig! This beautiful card. Add 1 level 6 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand. Again, search card. Search cards are good. It's not once per turn. Now, this is the field card that we use. Lost World. All monsters in the field lose 500 attack and defense except dinosaur type monsters. Once per turn, if a dinosaur type monster is normal or special summoned, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Durag Egg token. It's a dinosaur type, Earth, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense, to your opponent's field in defense position. While your opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects except tokens. Once per turn, if a normal monster on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy that many dinosaur type monsters in your hand and or deck instead. So yeah, not necessarily a great thing, but I mean, free token generator, obviously it's going to go to your opponent, but if they can't link off with it because it's not their turn, or you know, you're still going through your phase, especially when you've got access to this bad boy who's going to smack you in the face with its defense position and then do 1,000 damage to you. Can't complain. Our removal for the game, Twin Twisters. Obviously it's targeting removal though, but you can remove up to 2 cards for the price of 2 technically, as you've got to play this card and you've got to discard a card. Most spell and trap cards don't have a non-targeting effect onto the cards, so Twin Twisters is still a great card. Quaking Mirror Force. Just filling the deck out now. I probably will take these out in all fairness and add other things in. What I don't have access to though is Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is generally played free of in dinosaur decks just because they have to have that essential push towards the end, but Quaking Mirror Force does. When opponent's monsters declare an attack, change all attack position monsters your opponents control to face down defense position. Monsters changed to face down defense position by this effect cannot change their battle priority. So, again, synergizes really well with the deck. Obviously, our big boy wants to get you when you're on the floor, when you're all scared, and put your shields up, kicks you when you're down, does extra damage to your opponent. Very, very nice. Fossil Excavation. Oh, sorry. Activate this card by discarding one card and then targeting one dinosaur monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. Negate the effect of that monster on the field. This card leaves the field. Destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. So yeah, it's just a recursion. Obviously, if you're going to bring back something like this, you're just using it as a body. And at that point, it's a level 4, so you're going to be looking forward to a level 4. Oh, that brings on dead XYZ. Just so you can get something out. This deck is quite effective. It's not as good as people. I don't think dinosaurs are currently as good as people currently say they are. I think they do need a bit more work to them, but I think dinosaurs are still looking like a good rogue deck at the moment. I wouldn't say tier 1. I'd definitely say maybe tier 1.5 or tier 2, but we shall see how it goes in the near future now that everything's opened back up again. But I'm going to update the deck and I'll be back to you guys in a few minutes.
One eternity later.
So, just as a little sort of recap, I don't actually have a lot of cards that can go in this deck or re-switch this deck up, which is quite a pain in the ass, but nonetheless, here we go. So, I would remove the Unexpected Die due to the fact that this deck that I'm going to play has no whatsoever normal monsters, but I would replace it with at least 2 of these. So, you have the double evolution pill. You remove 1 dinosaur plus 1 non-dinosaur monster to bring out a level 7 or higher dinosaur monster, ignore its summoning conditions and throw it on the table. So essentially if you're going to do something like that, you would be looking at bringing out a big boy such as the Infinite Mega Super Duper mode. Editing sucks. Where are we looking? Your Ultimate Conductive Trainer. That's basically your big boy for this deck that you're going to be bringing out. And that would be the use of this card, essentially. This is normally why you don't run 3 of these cards. It's normally why you would run 1 or 2, just in case somehow removes some parts of your deck. I'm sure there are cards out there that do mill other decks, but not that I know of currently, but there's always tomorrow. So that's probably what I'd do there. I would definitely look at removing these 3. Placing at least one of those with Dino Wrestler Pankertops. If you don't know what this guy does, if your opponent has other monsters on the field and you do not, you can play this card instead. Also, this doesn't synergize very well with Unexpected Die, but nonetheless, here's your boy. So, if we do this, and you say, okay, you've got 3 cards left, what do you do here? I would consider looking at changing these into either a Lightning Storm or changing these into a set of Nibiru's. Nibiru, as I've joked before, is essentially the thing that killed off the dinosaurs, so it's quite fitting to have him in here, although there is a Jurassic meteor, which I do believe is meant to be the original meteor that killed the dinosaurs. There are a few cards that I do have somewhere in the house, would have to find them, and I was more prepared this than I thought. There are a couple of drag cards that you want to put in your dinosaur decks that work really well. I'm pretty sure you use True King the Disaster in this deck as well, as it would be your non-dinosaur card that you'd use to look at these, as it's a worm. The worm itself would then obviously help trigger off for your double evolution pill. Currently it's only one of in a deck because of what it is. I've heard people say they use Kaiju's in here, or Kaiju's, I think that's the dinosaurs, I might be confused. Doesn't have access to one now, but there are obviously others that don't, so maybe you could use them instead to be your trigger for this. I think else you'd use. Obviously you'd use the Bejazzled Crocodile, which I will put a picture in here right now as I'm confusing myself. Again, I don't know how many people play that card. I'm going to presume people play like a one of him, so you have access to say like 4 of these, or 3 or 2. I think it all depends on how people like to play double evolution build. A lot of people weren't playing double evolution build towards the beginning of the year, but now obviously that we have access to a searcher for this card specifically, it makes life a bit easier. Also, Bejazzled Crocodile, as I like to call him, He's synergizes very well with water decks, as he can pull out not only dinosaurs, he can also pull out sea serpents and I believe aqua type monsters. So he's quite a useful card in general, which is why his price isn't dropping super quickly. But he's still quite a good card. But that's it for today. If you guys actually would like to see this more of a from sealed, let me know. All the cards that I have currently out are from sealed product. Just so people don't think I'm being a bad boy. These are from the opening we did earlier in the year. This it comes from Soul Fusion, which I think I had like a pack of it or something, or a couple of packs of it when I got back into the game a while ago. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I know it was a bit different. I know it's not the usual jargon that we do here, but yeah, thank you for joining me. So I didn't do a extra deck for this deck because obviously you don't come with any extra deck cards, and I thought with that in itself would be a bit strange to sort of implement a additional deck just for the sake of adding an extra deck. But what I will do is during this little sort of like outro piece, I will be just popping cards up and saying like these are the cards you want to look for in a dinosaur deck. I would be doing some research, and this is obviously an after take. But I hope you guys actually did enjoy the video. I know it's something different. I know it's something I'd normally do. I might try and do the same thing again for a Sacred Beast deck. The difference with a Sacred Beast deck is I think there's one support card out there that came from a set like 10, 12 years ago. And unless I want a piece that's like literally like dipped in water and soaked like the night, you're paying. I don't think you're paying a lot of money for it. I think it's just trying to get hold of one that isn't just destroyed. So I'll try and see what I can. If the card actually isn't the deck and I just misread it, then maybe we'll just do it that way. But I will have a look at doing something like that. You know, we sadly won't be max rarity, but I do have quite a few of the Legendary Duelists 2 main set monsters. But yeah, that's it for now. So thank you for joining me. Peace out. Hope you guys are going to have a good Tuesday. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another Market Watch. If you want something different, like say if you want another Pokemon, let me know and we can go through another Pokemon one. I did enjoy that, as I do still enjoy Pokemon, but as you can see, still white wall. Still need to fix it, so we'll get there eventually. This, by the way, this weird thing here, is somebody at some point has scratched the wall. So yeah, I'll have to repaint this at least, and then possibly put some new stuff. So, we shall see. But see you guys next video. Peace out. Goodbye.